you're to be commended. This is a great effort. You're to be commended as a community, not simply for today, but as I've listened, there's a love for the beach, and there's a desire to really speak candidly about the challenges before you, and what I sense is a real honest desire to seek solutions. And that's not something we find everywhere these days. A lot of folks nowadays want to have someone come in on a big white horse and rescue them, and they're not willing to put the efforts in. And certainly looking at the partnerships that can be developed here from this day moving forward, I think speaks volumes about the success of Hampton Beach looking for the future. So my hat's off to you. I will speak to the transportation issues, being that's the area of my expertise, and wanted to say, as I listened, I heard really two avenues. The first, or two items, I guess. The first is access to the beach area, which can be challenging, and then it's the traffic flow around the beach. And that traffic flow, I think, can be kind of further separated out between not only traffic of the vehicles as people cruise looking for parking spaces, so parking is a problem, but also how do we move the pedestrians around and get them out of their vehicles and get them using the businesses, using the beach, taking advantage of the things that are here. On the larger issue, I will say that the department is committed to working with you, and as evidence of that, you'll see to John's immediate right, Bill Watson was introduced as one of the commissioners here for the Hampton Beach area. Bill is not only the commission and the DOT, on the commission and the DOT's representative of that, but Bill is the administrator of the Bureau of Planning and Community Assistance. Bill works very closely with the communities. He also works very closely with the regional planning commissions who have input into the department's 10-year plan. So when we start looking at some of those larger transportation issues and suggestions that were put forward today, and I was making notes, and I'm sure Bill was, as well as I think I saw Cliff Snutt coming by, but we will be taking those and looking at how best they can fit into the overall transportation plan. So the fact that Bill is here, I think speaks volumes of the department's commitment to the Hampton Beach. When we start looking locally into the parking areas, some of those issues can be brought forward in an intermodal type of opportunity. I also believe that as we would look at that, there's perhaps in the future, in the near future, if any of you are following some of the federal government, DOT's guidelines, there's a lot of emphasis being placed on livable communities, and we still need to investigate that as far as funding, but what does that mean? That means that communities need to be able to be a place where people can get around, not just by the vehicle, but by bikes and pedestrian movement. So that may be an opportunity to investigate funding sources and perhaps find some solution. We have met earlier, and I think this is just another example of how we're willing to work with the partners down here, and that is before this meeting, myself, along with representatives from the Department of Resource Economic Development who are doing the work on the beach house, as well as the abutters, landowners of the properties that were burned, in trying to look at how we can best perhaps at least fix that sidewalk that's right out there and establish what the grades would be so that pedestrian flow in and out and around that area could be addressed. And we've committed to get our survey team out there to start to establish some grades and see if there's a way we can get at least that first block of sidewalk constructed in conjunction with the work that's being done out there. So promise to look into that, and certainly I have the commissioners backing on that. So, John, I think that with that, I'll close and turn it over to someone else.
Thank you. And I'm going to come back to you in a few minutes when I get to my commitment component. I'd like to hear now from our 5 state representatives. As you know, I have given them a lot of praise, and the reason I have done that is because we all know that there are 2 political parties in this country of ours, the Democrats and the Republicans, and now we have the independents, now we have the Tea Party, et cetera, et cetera.